Welcome to the June garden tour, starting as always at the top of the garden. The wild area under the apple tree is really taking off now. Perennials are getting pretty tall, the annuals are coming, some things have gone to seed. Somewhere in here my rose is flowering. There it is. Look at that gorgeous rose. This came as a cutting from my mum's house in Cornwall. It must be a really old variety. Moving on, let's take a look at the apple mint. In an effort to sort of Chelsea chop my apple mint, I'm dealing with the first small row first, and I'm cutting that down quite hard, and then hopefully that will come up to give me a second flush later in the summer, and then I've still got the other section which I can work from once this first row has been finished with. I absolutely love apple mint. It's just coming into its own now and doesn't need searing. Okay. The nigella and cornflower are looking absolutely fabulous, which is great news because I've planning to use a lot in a wedding this weekend. Cornflower doesn't just come in blue, I've got it in white, blue, kind of purples and pinks in various places as well. And then here's another beautiful set of nigella. Absolutely perfect timing. The bunnytail grasses are getting really quite tall now, but you've got to be quite careful. They soon go to seed, and obviously that wouldn't be very pleasant in a bouquet or in a buttonhole. Perfect for drying as well. So yeah, it's probably 60 centimetres tall, some of that now. Okay, quite a different picture now than it was a month ago. Foxgloves have been amazing. I just let them self-seed in the border. Let's take a closer look at some of these things. Right, the autumn sown daucus has just started flowering. This is Dara, so it just has this little pink tinge here. I do have to keep a watchful eye on carrot fly. I suspect, I'm not sure, I suspect this one might be succumbing. I've pulled one out already. I'm trying to use my netting to hopefully keep the carrot fly out, but who knows if that works or not. Okay, autumn sown cornflower. Scabious has suddenly had a growth spurt. This is autumn sown scabious. Oh, I've just noticed aphids. So I need to keep an eye on that. Don't worry too much about it. That's the only one. The ladybird larvae are getting quite active. More cornflower. And I infilled this bed of nigella, which seemed to have disappeared. Infilled it with this lovely chrysanthemum hippie love child, which I absolutely love. Just makes me smile and smile. They're still a bit asleep at the minute, but they'll come out when the sun comes out. Okay, on the other side, the cynoglossum. We've placed the tulips. I was hoping that would be ready this weekend, but clearly it's not, but it's starting to bud up. That'll be ready in a little bit. The cornflower is past it, unfortunately, but I need the bed space for other things, so that's fine. Snapdragon Spectacular, again, fabulous timing for this weekend. So we've got some lovely big white ones at the front, those rose ones at the back, and the larkspur. Again, I thought it was all going to be frosted skies, but hey ho, we've got pinks, whites, and we've got a bit of purple there as well. And then clary sage, again looking fabulous. Sweet pea arch starting to take shape. it'll be another month or so before that is really starting to look floriferous. Now, just look at this Lavatera. I have never grown this before. It is going to be fabulous in big displays. Again, perfect for this weekend and the next few weddings I've got coming up over the next 2 or 3 weeks. So we've got white and then this beautiful pink as well. This is supposed to be dwarf, but somebody explained that Lavatera is normally like huge, so compared to that it is dwarf. Okay, now the Gypsophila Covent Garden has been amazing the last month. Again, it's coming to its end, but I'll be able to make use of it this weekend. The autumn sown Ami is again coming into its own, so it's pretty tall. It's taller than me, looking fab. And then another lot of autumn sown snapdragons. So apple blossom, chantilly bronze. We've got some lavender just coming through. This has only just come out. It's the first time I've seen it properly actually. So loving it. I meant to point out, in my Sea to Vase group, we did a little bit of experimental direct sowing. So we did some Phacelia in the beginning of May, and yeah, great success. Okay, on the other side of the arch, we've got a succession of larkspur. Soon starting to flower. We've got cosmos in the ground, hooray! And succession of Ami. So interesting to see it's flowering around about the same time as the autumn sown, but it's a good foot or so shorter, and that's the same for all annuals that are sown in the autumn versus the spring. The autumn sown one's just a lot stronger and slightly taller. And a succession of Gypsophila, so likewise, but it is beautiful. Gypsophila Covent Garden. Okay, so the sweet pea arch, I did pick some of the sweet peas yesterday. Got some more buds just forming there. So some are slightly further ahead than others. You can just see they're kind of like up to waist height, most of them, not all of them, some of them are still struggling, but very few flowers just yet. Okay, so I've been busy in these beds as well. So most of the alliums are out, apart from a few Christophii left. Oh, and the Sphericophyllum, the drumstick scabious, still haven't flowered yet. Anyway, so I have put in scabious, I've put in Tithonia, and I've put in some more cosmos. And then on the other side, the pink campion that were in here have come out. And we have got Amelia, Irish poet. Lepidium, wrinkled cress, bit of flax. And a little bit of a second lot of clary sage there. Quaking grass has been mega this year, so yeah, I need to harvest it before it seeds absolutely everywhere. I haven't dealt with the raspberry patch, as you can tell. And then on the other side, little self-sown border of Nigella, Phacelia, which was sown in the spring, just shows how quickly that grows from sowing to flowering. More cornflower. I did overdo it on the cornflower, but sort of intentionally, because I really want to use them this weekend. And some calendula. I think that was sown from saved seed, so pretty sure it's Snow Princess. looking fab. Okay, so perennials. Okay, right, so euphorbia's looking fine. I had a bare patch which I've popped in some scabious ping pong, but I swear this is going to be the last year. I just don't seem to like it in my ground. They're looking terrible. Astrantia has been fantastic this year. Got various other things coming, but nothing else flowering just yet. A bit of polemonium there. That's been good. I think the veronica behind it is just showing some colour, about to flower. My Achillea bed is a disaster, so once I get some flowers off it, I'm afraid it's just going to get sprayed off. I've got this awful cinquefoil weed in there, which is horrendous. It's taking over and I really don't want that to spread anymore. So I'll try and get what I can from the Achillea, then all this bed is going to be dealt with. Okay, let's have a look what's in the little greenhouse. So it's starting to thin out a little bit. Last of the sowings, literally just transplanted these last night. That's more snapdragon there. I've got some crispidia, which I've never grown before over there. And believe it or not, I've started, or me and the Seed to Vase group, we've started the biennials. So no sooner have you finished your annuals than you're already thinking about next year. So I think that's wallflower. No, maybe not. Anyway, so wallflower, a bit of hesperus has germinated, and I'm waiting for the honesty to germinate and Canterbury bells to germinate. The pelargonium roses of Atta is starting to get going now. It should reach up to this netting once it really takes hold. So yeah, coming towards the end of the annuals. I've got various things hardening off, desperate to get in the ground. Just finding the time to do all these things. Corncockle and Soteria grass there, for example. I've already got the status in the ground, so those are spares. And I've got more things in another area at the top there, which I'll show you in a second. In the big greenhouse, so these, a lot of this, to be honest, is ready to harden off. Last of the Orlea, or the Orlea section in the middle, again, I'll be able to use this weekend. So even though the flowers are going, I'm loving the seed heads. So I'm planning to cut quite a lot of that to be able to use this weekend. I've got some big installations to do, and I've just got a spring sown lot to give me some freshness as well, some fresh blooms, and yeah, loads of things here that I really need to put outside to harden off. Snapdragons, calendula, I've got some basil over there as well. And this is mainly full of a bit more corncockle, which needs pinching out over there. That needs pinching out and hardening off. Lots of zinnias, a few more snapdragons, some celosia, which I'm planning to plant in the greenhouse. Just potted on these, put this pennisetum, villosum grass, and I've got some scabious scoop there as well, and more calendula. Oh, and some more snapdragons, which I potted on yesterday. So yeah, most of these will be gone by the next video. Okay, again, loads more things hardening off up here. Got some helichrysum, got some perennials that I bought for something else, perennials I propagated, cosmos, scabious, loads of things to plant out. Always a dilemma. Right, the little terrace here I just stuffed with my Pauly plants. and they've just provided an instant bit of colour, so that's one of the reasons annuals are so beneficial. They just fill a gap when you need it. Let's have a look at the dahlia patch. Okay, dahlias have been a struggle this year. Everybody is having major problems with slugs. Now, as you can see, I've got some flowering. I think it's either Arabian Night or it might be Samuel Hopkins, but anyway, they were one of the first to emerge, and so the big ones like that have got ahead of the slugs. I haven't done any pinching out yet, but anyway, those have got ahead of the slugs. So I've got a handful that have managed to do that. I've just planted up my new dahlias, so we'll see if they manage to withstand the slugs, but I have got a lot where the slug damage is horrendous, and whether they're going to get through it I do not know. Let me show you. So here's a pretty good example. As soon as new shoots emerge, they get chomped there and there, and I have tried beer traps, which actually I used cider, and it caught some slugs but didn't go anywhere near it. I've surrounded them with comfrey, so this here is comfrey, which supposedly they don't like. So the nice ones, that's a new one that fresh tuber. I've already pinched those out, as you can see. I've pinched that out. So they're fine, although they were only planted yesterday. Right, I think these are finally maybe getting ahead of the slugs. Look, I've got one shoot there. So long as they can get ahead of, a little bit ahead, then we're away. But it's just getting into that stage. So take heart, anybody that's having a similar problem. Look, nothing there. A few little tiny shoots, but they just get munched straight away. Very sad. Okay, the Hesperus has gone and been replaced just a couple of days ago with some Daucus. Just waiting for the Honesty the seed heads to mature. I can also use it in the green for installations. And again, foxgloves are coming towards the end. I'm hoping I can make use of them in the next couple of weeks. Well, I hope they'll last for the next couple of weeks when I've got weddings. So I've got whites and apricot. Statice. So I've got 4 lots of statice, half a bed each there. Let's take a look at the other little bed, which is full of Sweet Williams. Okay, so I have got Auroch in here, Auroch, Daucus, Daucus Dara, and some dill, just in this one. And then the Sweet Williams, the auriculari mixed, is still okay, but the Alba, which was the first to come, has gone over and needs taking out. I'll just try and nab a few of the stems that are still good, but yeah, most of it, the smell is amazing. Most of it has obviously gone past it and needs removing and replacing with something else. I've got plenty to replace it with. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in July. Have a good month.